Malik D, your financial credit guru, the hit maker, the score. Fox Soul's #1 financial literacy podcast. Today we have our co-host, Mr. Dan Green, tax accountant / economist, and our special guest, Mr. Mitchell Summerfield from Word of God Fellowship Church in Raleigh, North Carolina. Pleasure to have you on the Score podcast, Mr. Mitch Summerfield.
Man, I'm glad to be here, man. Glad to be here.
Today, what we want to talk about here in this financial literacy podcast, which first let me explain to you what this podcast consists of. This podcast, The Score, is geared towards the Black and brown community in regards to giving them some financial information, financial knowledge, lifelines as far as giving them plays as far as financially on how they can actually be able to obtain resources and income for their business and for their personal lives. Right. And just to put them in a position where they can do better for themselves. Yes, so this is the purpose of what the Score podcast consists of. But a pleasure to have you here. And like I stated before, I wanted to politic with you and create some type of dialogue from the differences and from the things that's taught into the churches, from faith all the way to finances.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So let's roll with it.
Man, let's do it, man. I love it.
So pretty much, I want to know, in your church, do you talk about and have discussions with your congregation about financial literacy, just besides the spiritual part of it and the God part of it in regards of their faith as far as why they attend church?
Man, believe it or not, man, we do. Every year since I took over as the pastor, we do a series. A month, for a whole month, and we call it the WTF series.
What is WTF?
It messed everybody up.
What is WTF?
It stands for Where's the Faith?
Wow.
Where's the family? Where's the finances?
Wow.
Okay.
Where's the faith? Where's the family? Where's the finances?
Where's it at? And we do a deep dive on, for 1 week we talk about finances. 1 week we talk about the family. And the next week we talk about the faith. And they all go hand in hand. But we bring in people to do seminars during the time for the finances part, for people who want to start businesses, people want to get into investing, people want to get into real estate, people want to get into credit repair, or they want to get their credit repaired. So we do a whole series all about getting your finances in order. And we do that straight from the pulpit.
Wow. Oh. So the things that you discussed,
where's the faith? Yes, sir.
Where's the faith? Wealth, finances,
Absolutely.
And family.
Yes, sir.
And when you're talking to your congregation about the credit piece, how deep are you going into the credit piece in regards to, letting them know on that level, credit-wise, where they need to be so they can use the wealth, faith, and family titles that you put out in the church?
Exactly. So we go pretty deep with it. So next year, when we do it in April, we do it every April. So in April, when we do it, we're actually going to bring, like yourself.
Okay.
We're going to bring you in.
We discussed that.
You're going to dive deep into it. Okay. You got to dive deep into what your credit look like. I tell the people, you cannot fix what you don't face. If your credit is jacked up, you need to know it. You got to know it.
Yeah. You got to have an analysis. You got to have an analysis as to what's hindering you credit-wise. You got to actually see the blocks and the obstacles that's hindering you from moving forward to get these personal lines of credit or these business lines of credit or credit cards and the right type of credit cards you should be applying for in order to navigate and move forward personal-wise and business-wise.
Exactly.
So, I want to let your congregation know on top of what you have already displayed and communicated to them as far as sending them my way. But if they need the tags or the outlets to be able to reach us, my website is www.malikdavis.com for the fast track credit restoration service. And that's how they're able to obtain our services with my staff to properly assist them so they can start the process of having their credit restored so they can get their credit scores position right,
Yep.
so they can get their debt to income ratio.
Yes,
if
sir.
they have any kind of debt to income ratio,
sir.
credit utilization problems
Yep.
with their credit, they need to be properly informed and educated. So it ain't just them coming through
You're right.
the www.malikdavis.com
Absolutely.
fast track to get the credit restored. They're going to actually get the wealth and the information and the guidance to guide them along on how to use their credit, on how to leverage their credit,
Yeah.
because your credit is your bank. But I'm going to go ahead and put it back on you
I
now.
was gonna say true transparency, man. I became a client of yours, man.
Hey, we've been doing business for years.
We've been rocking,
How long it's been now?
man. Almost 10 years, man. Almost 10 years.
It's been that long, Mitch?
It's been that long, man. And I tell you, it was life changing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it really hit home for me, man, about 6 years ago, when my parents were getting sick, and I knew that it was a possibility that I would be the person that would take over.
The front
Yeah,
line.
and I knew that I needed to make sure I needed to be very squeaky clean. I want to make sure every crook and cranny, anything that I wasn't paying attention.
And I'm sorry to hear that about your
Man,
parents.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
It was a low blow. It was a tough thing to have to try to get through. And to be honest with you, man, it's still still quite it still ain't quite done yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I knew I needed to take responsibility and lead the organization properly. And I just wanted everything to be on the up and up. I didn't want no issues. And so it wasn't as much about the credit repair as much as it was about the consultation for me. Okay. And so the information that I was getting from you, what things I need to do, how I need to use my credit, how I need to use my credit card utilization, all of the things that people do not, especially our people, we don't understand it from a massive body of people. You get a small percentage of our people who do know that information, right? But the bigger conglomerate of people who don't know it are the ones that are consumers, and all they do is consume.
And you got to understand this too. This wasn't taught at our kitchen tables.
No. Especially the homes where information, education just wasn't prevalent, man. If people weren't educated, I mean, diplomas, degrees, and all that kind of stuff, of course they weren't talking about it.
They weren't about how they're going to get the next meal on the table.
Paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
And that's what it was all about. And so that mindset has been coming over and over and over and over and over and over again. And you know, at my church, I just finished a month-long series called Poor, From Poor to Poor. And that was POOR. And basically the premise of it is passing over opportunities repeatedly.
Wow.
Okay.
Where'd you be getting them slogans and them titles from, man? Where'd you be getting that from?
Oh my God, man. It was practical, but at the same time, it was making people face how many opportunities they've passed over. I don't feel like that another opportunity won't come around again, right?
Yeah.
Because I believe that God blesses people. But how much longer does the delay happen if you miss the first opportunity? If I hadn't taken the opportunity to say, hey, look, Malik, I got to get my stuff together.
Yeah.
And I just sat there 5 years, 6 years go by, and now I'm trying to get it. I just missed 5-6 years of opportunities where if I take advantage of it now, and it's all about being aware of the opportunity. And you have to say, I am no longer going to pass over opportunities, because when you start passing over opportunities repeatedly, you are creating a poor mindset. And most black and brown people have developed this poor mindset.
You have to change your habits.
Man, it's those bad habits, and the church is full of them. The church is full of them. The church is full of them. Every church is full of them.
Why is financial literacy so important in your church? Because I know you on one hand, on one leg, you're preaching the gospel.
Yeah.
On the other leg, of course, that needs to be instilled, and that, like you said, with the wealth, family, and finances, that needs to be a part of their spirituality. I know we talked about that initially in the beginning of this conversation, but why is it so important for your congregation in your church?
I have seen in my own family, cousins, uncles, nieces. I've seen it be a problem where they do not understand money. And money.
Let's hold that thought right there. We're going to take a quick break so we can pay these bills.
Yes,
we'll
sir.
be right back
Yes, sir.
because we would definitely want to catch up. Welcome back to the school. We have Mr. Pastor Mitch Summerfield here
sir.
with Fellowship, with Word of God Fellowship Church. And let's get back to the topic in the conversation that we was having about why financial literacy is so important for you inside of your church.
Man, it's important. Like I was saying, I've seen it, the ignorance of money and understanding how to live not in bondage. You know what I mean? You cannot live in bondage from not knowing and having information. And I've seen so many of our black and brown people, even at a young age. I'm not that old, but I'm not that young either. But I've seen both sides of the spectrum. I saw my father work hard. I saw him work hard every day, okay? And then I saw other men not work hard, live off their women, okay?
Basically, the woman is the mom.
Exactly. And both are learned behaviors at some point in time. And so it all results back to what people learn. What habits do they learn? And it's always based upon how they were taught. Or you make a decision, I like what they're doing. And I'm going to ask questions, and I'm going to say, hey, how'd you do that?
Exactly.
Why did you save that money like that? Like, what did you do with your paycheck every week? And when you start trying to change your life, okay, now you start understanding the power of legacy, okay? Why financial literacy is so important to me is because I feel like every black man, woman, boy, girl should have on their mind that I want to create legacy for myself. And if you do not understand financial literacy, you will never leave a legacy. Never.
Wow.
Makes a lot of
Let
sense.
me ask you this question. The transition to CEO to pastor in your church when your parents passed away, what did that look like? What kind of struggles did you have to go through when they passed away? Because I'm pretty sure they was used to doing things a certain way and set way versus from, the new generation doing things a different type of way in the church.
Man, it was a struggle. First couple of years I was doing it exactly like my parents were doing it. I felt like I had to do everything the same. Because if I didn't, then the people will leave or they won't respect me. So the first 2 years, I did everything exactly how they were doing it. Exactly. Okay? And one night I had a dream. I was asleep and I woke up because my father was in the dream.
Wow.
And it was like we were having a conversation like we are right here.
Yeah.
And
it was surreal.
Yeah. And the statement he made to me is stop copying my style. That's mine. Be you. And then the pandemic happened.
And what did that look like when the pandemic
pandemic forced me to create my own model.
Switch your style up.
Absolutely. And the people had to. They had to agree with it because everybody was forced to figure it out.
Make changes. Adapt.
Exactly.
Adapt.
And so now what happens is I'm this pastor, I'm this leader, but I'm having to create my own style and nobody can grade me. Nobody can criticize me because nobody was familiar with this style. And nobody could duplicate a style. They had to basically figure out what was going to work for them, what was going to be good for them, and I was one of those cats. So at the age that I was, at the time that it was, we basically had to shut everything down. And after we shut everything down, it gave us a plain white canvas. And that
Clean slate.
that clean white canvas allowed me to write exactly how I needed this thing to look, man. We started doubling down, buying equipment, getting the right thing.
Now, I hope you wasn't buying equipment with your own cash, especially
no.
with excellent credit that you have right now, because I know for a fact that you got excellent
Absolutely.
credit. I know for a fact that you don't have any debt to ratio income problems.
No,
you don't
sir.
have any credit utilization
No,
problems.
sir.
And I know for a fact that you got revolving lines of credit
Absolutely.
and high limit credit cards.
Absolutely.
So I know good and well,
Yes,
Pastor
sir.
Mitch.
Yes, sir.
You ain't using your own money to fund what you need to fund with this church.
Thank God that I saw you at the right time,
You're more than
connected
welcome.
with you at the right time, and got the understanding though. That's the piece that most people do not understand. You can have a 900 beacon score, but not know how to use it, and end up right back where you were when you needed the person. And so, and that's no diss to anybody
Yeah.
who that's not.
It's the fact.
It's all day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm not disrespecting anybody who's had to be in that position. But my point is, I needed the information. Hey, and I appreciate you always answering the phone when if you didn't answer, you called me back.
I call you right back.
And then most of the time, the only reason why you didn't answer is because you was on the island somewhere.
Amen.
And you deserve
Listen.
to be on the island
And I got to
somewhere.
listen.
As hard as you work, you deserve.
Listen, and I got a birthday coming up October the 18th, and I plan on being over there
Somewhere. I got
sipping
you.
on a pina colada up on
I
a
feel
coconut
you.
tree.
Mine is November 17th, and I plan to be doing the exact same thing.
So you already know what it is.
All right. So I've been working hard.
Yeah.
The last 5 years, man, I've been working my butt off.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why is because I started understanding that I needed to establish my legacy. And here's the thing. My father already built a legacy.
Yeah.
Everything he did, he built a legacy. So I was so stuck the first couple of years on ensuring the legacy that I was not focused on establishing one. He's no longer here. So now I got to establish my own.
Yeah.
He fulfilled his. And I think so many black people get fixated on establishing somebody else's or ensuring somebody else's that they don't think that they need to establish their, or they feel like it's impossible, they can't. And when you come to Word of God Fellowship, you find out that, hey, I know I work at Big Lots, but I can establish my legacy with Big Lots. I know I'm still working a 9 to 5.
The thing that I like about you and your church and what you instilling in your church is that you have a financial literacy.
Yes.
Opening in that church
Absolutely.
for your congregation.
Absolutely.
It ain't all just about the word of God. And I like that because it's giving them some type of rope that they can
Yes, sir.
hang on to
Yes,
to
sir.
pull themselves up out of that destitute state that they might be
Yes.
in, that they don't really let you know
Yeah.
as the pastor, even though they can talk to you and you are their pastor and y'all have the relationship. But some people, when it come down to talking about finances, they get real guarded.
They do.
And I see that a lot when clients want to retain my services or they want to initiate to retain my services and they on a certain type of level or have worked themselves up to a certain type of level, they get real guarded.
Yeah.
Even though they want the help. And I know they want the help.
Yeah.
So my style consists of me penetrating through that to let them know, listen, you reached out to me.
Let me help you.
Let me help you.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to chase you.
Sure.
I'm not going to beg you.
Yeah.
You reached out. Open up.
Yeah.
Let me into your world, because that's the only way I'm going to be able to help you.
That's
if
true.
you so guarded,
Yeah.
because I'm going to penetrate that world if you retain my services.
Yeah.
And I'm penetrating your world to help you get to a state where you need to be at financially and credit-wise, so then now it can propel you on to greater heights financially so you can start accomplishing your goals.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
But that word is so heavy, man. It's you know, and you and Dan, you probably can attest to this, man. As a money person, your numbers. Numbers is all about what you do. So goals are important. And so when you are sitting down and I'm talking to a parishioner, I'm talking to a member, the first question I'm like, what are your goals? Do you have any? Because if you, especially we got a group of young adults, millennial young adults, and I'm finding out it's not that they don't want to work. It's not that they don't want to work. They are now saying, I want to work smarter. Okay. Now they've gotten hip to NFTs and cryptocurrency and
they're the number one driver.
They are.
Investments.
They are. And so I constantly go to their meetings. What are your goals? Because
hold that thought. Let's take a quick break so we can pay these bills. Welcome back to the school. Let's lead off on what we
yes, sir.
What we were discussing before the break.
Yeah, I asked them what are their goals. I want to know what their goals are, because if we can establish your goals, now we can attack them goals young, early, and not create those bad habits that our parents, they created the habits because they didn't have the information.
They didn't have the literacy.
They have to get outside their comfort zone.
Absolutely.
You have to change your habits by getting outside that comfort zone.
I remember my father making an investment one time. He invested some money with somebody and lost it, all of it. And he never did it again.
Right.
And most of the time it's those bad experiences, right? And when you in your 50s and you got a lot to lose, I got 5 kids, I got a wife, I got a whole church, and that mindset was different. I don't have a whole lot to just throw away because I got to leave. Yeah. I got to leave something behind, so I can't waste opportunities on things that won't work. So whatever I do, it's got to work. So he started doing more safe things. He would purchase land, sell it, stuff like that. So he would take advantage of opportunities, but it was just different. But my point is, this younger generation, they don't have an issue. They're not fearful.
They're less risk averse.
Oh my God, man, they'll do it.
And if you look at some of the most successful people in history, they've taken a chance.
Sure.
And they've gone against the grain.
Sure.
They didn't follow the crowd.
Absolutely.
They went against the grain.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. That goal thing, man, is critical.
Wow.
And these young people, I want them to drive. I want them to drive the ship when it comes to helping the older people. Because if they can be the inspiration for the older crowd, and the older crowd see what they doing, and I'm finding that out. Some of the older folks are getting into crypto and investing because they are finding out these young people are doing something.
Well, my co-host and myself, we
both got into crypto investing.
And I'm deeply invested into
crypto. We're going to talk after the show. We're going to talk after the show.
I'm deeply invested. I think I'm 1.2 million in.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, we're going to talk.
You know what I mean? So, and they always say never put in what you can what you can't afford to lose.
Yes,
so
sir.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I understand the technology behind it and the use case.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But I want to ask you a question more about financial literacy in your church. And I know you and I discussed in brief outside of this podcast about moving forward to create this financial literacy academy down there.
Yeah.
Let's build on that.
Man, so we created a nonprofit called Winning Ways. And where we want to focus on helping everybody win in life. We got about 75 acres of land. We're gonna take the 75 acres of land.
And this is where he comes in.
That's good. So we want to take that land, and we want to develop the land. But one of the biggest pieces to that property is we want to create a kind of like a building like this, but primarily it'll be a place where incubation center.
I was going to say, like an incubation.
Yes, sir. And a lot of things that will be happening there, it will be able to teach about financial literacy 7 days a week, okay? Because I understand how people schedule's busy, and they can't come, on just one day out the week. So we need to be able to provide it. We need to be able to provide it 7 days a week. I don't want them, even if they can't catch the person that's going to be teaching in person. Yeah, you can come in this place and watch it on video. I don't want you taking it home. I want you to sit in this building and I want you to catch it. I want you to get it. I want you to bask in it, because this place, when I walked in this place, my eyes opened up. I was like, man, I like this. I felt, and sometimes you can't get that sitting in your living room.
Oh, nah.
You can't get that with.
You got to have it up close.
Kids
You have the
running around.
interaction.
Yes,
We've
sir.
got the other,
Yes, sir.
That's why the kids suffered.
Yeah.
When they locked down the schools
You
for
right.
2 years.
You right.
They missed the social interaction.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and you
sir.
need to have that. That
You're right.
encourages the
You're right.
learning of
You're
the
right.
growth.
You're right.
Of the comprehension.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And so having yourself and creating this partnership, the score and winning ways coming together, because every time you win, you score, baby.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Yeah, man.
Every time you win, you score.
Yes, sir.
And,
Or
vice,
we can
and vice versa.
I'm about to say you can flip
Vice
it.
versa.
Every time you score, you win.
Every
Either
time
way.
you score, you win.
Hey, man, and so we want to take every person that comes, they go in this academy, and it may be 6 weeks, it may be 8 weeks, but they are getting the information, and they're gonna take this information and they're gonna leave, because we got a Christian academy too, and our Christian academy graduates students, 12th grade, okay, to be able to get this information at the 10th grade, the 9th grade level about, let's just think, if you can get a 9th grader who gets allowance still, and you can educate them on NFTs and crypto, and now they're able to purchase.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And the stuff that they can learn at an early age and now changed it. Like they changed the outcome.
It's
of
like
their
they
life.
sponges now. They soak
They
up
want
everything
it.
quick. Yeah.
They want it. If you think about it, for every pair of Jordans that a kid buy, what if they could say, I'm gonna buy this Jordan, but now I want to buy one share of stock in Jordan.
Nike stock.
So
Buy the Nike stock.
So if we teach that, and they can, if they understand it, and when they understand it, their perspective will change about what they're gonna buy first. Do I want the stock, or do I want the Jordan? Which one? I don't mind having a Jordan, but I don't need a pair of Jordans every week.
Exactly.
I don't need a pair of Jordans
I want to
every
be
month.
able to I want to be able to make money off the Jordans that I'm buying.
Yes, I like a good Burberry sneaker. I like a good Fendi sneaker.
Hey.
But when I look at my portfolio, I want some Fendi stock too.
Yeah.
I want some red bottom stock. Period.
I ain't mad at
So
you.
we wearing other people's stuff, but we don't have no ownership in it.
So this academy, you and I are gonna
Yes, sir.
get together
Absolutely.
and conglomerize on
Absolutely.
to make this thing do what it's going to do.
We making it public knowledge right now.
When we moving forward,
Man,
with
we
this?
moving forward with it today.
Okay.
It's gonna start today.
So how we gonna go about with the grants and all that
Yes,
type of
sir.
let's,
So
let's build on that because I
Yeah.
want to give my viewers and my listeners
Gotcha.
just a little drink of
Gotcha,
it. You know
gotcha.
what I mean? To let them know we're actually setting something up in the Black and Brown community so they can benefit off of this financial
sir.
literacy
Yes, sir.
academy.
Our facility is right in the heart of Southeast Raleigh. Okay, Southeast Raleigh is pretty much Black and Brown.
Okay.
That's the predominant area. And one of the things we wanted to do, and which we are doing now, currently, okay, we've already written about 4 grants.
Okay.
And these grants, 2 of them have already gotten approved.
Okay.
So we're starting the process on getting the information that's needed for the grants in order to fulfill all of the requirements that they have. So anytime we get the grants, they got all the stipulations. You got to do everything how they want you to do it. And one of the pieces to it is a workforce development. Okay, we want to teach people trades. We want to teach people different things that will help them outside of. Because some people they don't want to go to college. You know, they want to graduate.
College ain't for everybody.
It ain't for everybody.
Especially nowadays with the tuition. Well, that's been going on for a while,
Right.
but now it's just insane.
It ain't worth it.
And kids are getting stuck with these student loans.
Yes,
They're
sir.
taking them 30 years to pay
Yeah,
back.
yep,
And
yep.
then they come out and they don't get the kind of job they want, and then they're stuck in debt. They're
Yeah.
trapped in debt.
Yep. And so the grants will allow us right here, right now, to go ahead and start building the infrastructure for Winning Ways Academy. So and that's one of the things that we're currently working on. So we're thinking by 2023, by January 2023, we'll be kicking off our Winning Ways Academy in collaboration, powered by The Score. Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
So from the financial aspect of it, I know we talk about the grants and everything like that. Dan, you want to add anything as far as your expertise along with this conversation about dealing with the grants for this academy? I mean, as far as providing a little bit more, more information to Mitch that he can intake to further along with these grants?
Well, in terms of the various sources, I mean, I guess you're looking at federal and state.
We're looking at federal and state, absolutely.
And
did I ask that question correctly to you?
Yes.
So you can make sure.
And as a matter of fact, I mean, now there was a program just came about, but I think it was just for Mecklenburg County, and it specifically targets. I'm sure they have something similar to that, probably
in the county,
in Wake County too, where it's for black.
Let's take a quick commercial break so we can pay these bills. We're gonna be right back.
I need that.
Welcome back to the school. Let's take off from where we came from.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'll give you the information, but it's specifically targeted for the black and brown community, the LGBT, and various subsets, the minority groups. And it's a $20 million fund that was primarily funded by Wells Fargo.
Wow.
Now, I'm sure, like I said, they've got something similar to that for Wake County too, and some
Kellogg Foundation actually does, and that's the one that it's a big $6 million one, and that's one of the ones that is still pending, but I'm pretty certain we'll get it. I'm pretty certain.
Yeah, this one I just got the information over the weekend. I disseminated some of the information to some of my clients, like Malik here, and it's the criteria it's not very restrictive.
Okay.
So and you can use it. You can use it. The funds for expansion.
I love that.
Equipment acquisition, purchasing property.
Perfect.
Of offices.
Perfect.
Warehouse.
Because you're gonna need a building down there.
I promise you. Absolutely.
Like I said, computer equipment, all kinds of. And it ranges from $5,000 all the way up to $250,000.
Wow.
So
I need that, and I'm sure they probably will have something in Wake County. Like
exactly.
That. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. Yeah, any of that. I mean, we're trying to go after all of it.
Yeah.
And it's a CDC, so it's a Community Development Corporation already, and we've had it since 2001, and really never did anything with it. And that was one of the things that I needed to do. That was one of the things that actually changed my life during the pandemic. Is I got a handle on Winning Ways. And when I got a handle on that Winning Ways, it's just been sitting in the file since 2001. That whole thing, that whole plan had been sitting in the files since 2001. And God showed it to me while we were in the middle of the pandemic.
And your dad showed it to you too in the dream.
Absolutely.
Hey, this is my style. Go get your own style.
Absolutely. The school was his style. That Christian Academy, that was his. Mm-hmm. I left this over here for you, untouched, unbothered, completely intact. Do something with that. And I just thought about it. I was like, wow, this is a whole nother untapped thing.
Wow.
And you start looking at it, and I said, okay, I got you, God. And Dad, I got you. Mm-hmm. I'm on it. So I'm glad that not only were you in the same mindset, you know what I mean? But I had already been a faithful client, so I was like, we have been working
and a friend.
Together. Exactly. And we have been working. We've been working well together.
Very well together
for a while.
No issues,
yes,
no problems, and that's why I move the way I move when you call.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because I know the relationship,
Absolutely.
the business relationship.
Absolutely.
Throughout all these years we've been dealing with each other.
Yep.
That's why I don't mind picking up the phone. Right. And if I miss the call, I call you right
always
back.
Do. Always do.
Because I want to make sure that you're properly positioned, knowing that the level where you at right now as far as what it is that you do.
Yep.
And you're a leader of a congregation of people.
Yep.
I treat people like that a little bit special, a little bit different.
I learned my video got to match my audio.
Basically, your quotes got to match your words.
You dig? So at the end of the day, if somebody is listening to me, but my stuff don't add up, it's like, oh, wait a minute. Well, what about your credit? What about your portfolio? What about the things you saying we should do this, but you're not doing it? And I said, no, it won't be me.
Well, I can tell you on this podcast called The Score,
Yes, sir.
and to my listeners and my viewers,
Yes, sir.
I know for a fact where your credit scores is at. I know for a fact
Yes, sir.
what kind of credit,
Yes,
high limit
sir.
credit cards
Yes,
and
sir.
lines of credit that you got, because we've been working
Absolutely.
extremely hard
Absolutely.
to get you there,
Yes,
and
sir.
you're there.
Yes, sir.
That's why I said there shouldn't be any reason why you're using your own money, why that credit is your bank, and the relationships that you create with these institutions and leveraging and using your credit as your bank to continue to make more money while you stack your own. And that's what your congregation, like when we get this academy
they gonna
going.
benefit from.
But I want your congregation to already be set. At least some of them be set before we actually get this thing. I know we talking about it today,
Absolutely.
but of course it's going to take a little time to get this stuff up and running. But I want the congregation today to start moving forward to get their credit
Yes.
situated.
Yeah.
And you can go to www.malikdavis.com and retain the Fast Track Credit Restoration Service Program.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to get you where you need to be, or get your clients where they need, or your congregation where they need to be. So when this academy is full-fledged up and running, they'll already have a head start in relations to that specific type of, financing, dealing with their credit. They already have that head start. So when their credit is already properly situated and they got that head start right along with the other components that's going to be added into this academy financially, they're going to have, like I said, a head start over everybody else, and they'll be making other kind of moves as far as investment into real estate, like you stated before, and, in other financial sectors as well.
Absolutely. Because the biggest piece that I'm looking forward to, I'm excited about. I'm really excited about this, Dan. Dan, you're going to like this part. I'm really excited about this part because one of the things is we'll be able to show a 30-year-old parent, okay, that they can buy a lot. A lot. You wanna really change your child's life at 17, 16, okay? Buy them their first rental property.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Buy them their first rental property. Present that to them at the Sweet 16 birthday party. Line everybody up.
And where this economy is heading right now, as far as this economic downturn, they'll be in a good position to do that too.
All day, every day. Because one thing you know for a fact that they are not making no more of is that's dirt.
I was about to say.
They will not make no more
It's a
dirt.
finite amount of dirt.
Oh, and they won't make no more air. So,
No.
so somebody I was talking to, a good friend of mine, pastor friend of mine, he asked a question. He said, what's more valuable to you? He said, what's more valuable to you, money or time?
Time is more valuable to me. Because
at
with the
end
time,
of
you can
day,
always get the money.
Always get more money.
Yeah.
So your
Time.
perspective, what is your perspective?
Yeah.
What's more important to you? And I'm trying to teach people this, okay? They ain't gonna make more air, and they ain't gonna make more dirt. The air you breathe right now is contingent upon you breathing and having time. And you need to maximize all the time that you have. Maximize your time, spend time with your family, spend time with your loved ones, but you need to be focused, fixated. I like being outside. I like having a good time and enjoying my weekend.
Yeah.
I like that too. But at some point in time, you gotta have a balance. You gotta have a balance, and I need to be about that paper right now.
Boy, you speaking my language.
I need to be about that paper right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I got to.
Hey, man. That's
Got to.
that's the name of the game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But let me ask you a question. With you being a loyal client and a consistent client with me, of course, you got me on retainer.
Sure.
I mean, I'm always on point for
Yes,
you.
sir.
What are some things that you have accomplished with your excellent credit, with the knowledge and with the information that, I have reaped upon you in regards of educating you the proper way and basically showing you how to leverage your credit? What are some of the things, Mitch, that you have actually accomplished throughout the years that you and I have been involved with each other?
Man, I've been able to purchase.
And this is real talk.
Yeah, I've been able to purchase multiple properties, okay, and leverage them right, get them at the right interest rate.
Wow.
Okay, the best interest rate. credit unions getting the best interest rates, multiple platinum credit cards, Amex. I can pull out my wallet right now.
Did you ever think you was going to be able to accomplish something like that to get that unlimited American Express card?
Never.
Or that City card?
Yes, never. Okay, vehicles. Okay,
wow,
with the right interest rates. Okay, none of this 18%.
You just purchased another bigger property, a home. Yeah,
exactly.
You just made another
exactly, man.
Purchased another property.
Right. So to be able to not only fix the credit or make sure the credit is tweaked, or even hey, go ahead and take that money, pay that down. So now when I'm talking to my mortgage broker, when I'm talking to the bank,
let's take a quick break so we can pay these bills. We're going to be right back.
Absolutely.
Welcome back to the school. Let's jump right back into it.
Yes, sir. Not to mention talking to the broker, and now before he can even say anything to me, I done already done what he was getting ready to call me to tell me, because Malik Davis has already looked at the file and said, hey, you need to go hit that, chop that down, do that, boom, that over there, da-da-da-da. So now when the broker's talking to me, oh, okay, you done already done that. Appreciate it. So now his work, I done already paid somebody, okay, to tell me what needs to happen. And so now when I walk through the door, all I'm doing is just signing on the line.
Because you made his job easier.
I did. Mm-hmm. And so it ain't got to shop it around.
Nope. To accumulate multiple inquiries, it's going to penalize you. Later. Because when you're going through that underwriting process, they'll penalize you for all those recent inquiries. They'll penalize you when you get a collection that pops up out of the blue on the credit report.
Out of the blue. LabCorp.
Out of the blue.
Out of the blue.
It'll stunt your whole growth.
I'm serious, man. And you don't know.
Pick up the phone and make that call and tell me what the situation and what the problem is, especially when you're in the midst of a deal.
Yes, sir.
I get right on it, handle that. Boom, do what I need to do, move it out the way, because it ain't nothing but an obstacle.
Sure.
It ain't nothing but something trying to block you from moving forward to accomplish the things that you're trying to accomplish. But if you got somebody on your team that's an expert that knows their craft, that can handle that, you in a good position. And it's always good to keep somebody like that in your pocket.
Yeah. The consult, man, and I said it earlier, to be able to get the consult. It's like if I go to you right now, and I need some information. I need an understanding of my numbers and my tax, or my taxes and everything. Schedule C's, all that. And when you help break that down for me, here's why you owe back. Here's why you didn't give enough away, or whatever the case may be. I want the consult. So when I'm paying you, it's just like you're gonna get your car detailed. You're paying somebody to come in. Detail your car, tell you what's wrong with it. Hey, look, I need you to guide me in understanding. Not so I can come do the job. I don't need to do the job.
Right.
I just want to understand what I'm paying for.
Exactly.
Okay. And that's nothing wrong with that. I think the Bible says people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Exactly.
There's a scripture in the Bible. Our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Ignorance is not bliss.
It is not bliss. And so when people die, they say the cemetery is full of information that died with people.
Mm-hmm. They take it to the grave.
And I'm not trying to be one of those.
But in this day and age, though, Mitch, sometimes you have to hold back certain information, man.
Because people don't want it. Some people don't want it.
And some people get it and they use it in the wrong way. And I always go back to reflect and refer that in our communities, Black and brown communities, they get their hands on something that can catapult and propel them financially and take them to the next level, and they end up treating it like a hustle.
They make it yeah.
They always trying to recreate and reinvent the wheel to treat it like a hustle.
Why is that, though, man?
Man, it's the mindset, man. I think it goes all the way back to slavery.
I think it's a cultural thing.
I think it goes all the way back to slavery.
Yeah.
I think me personally,
I agree with
I think
that.
it goes back to slavery.
It's been ingrained in us to do that. Specifically over the last, say, 30, 40 years.
Yeah. No,
It's
you're
just-
right.
It's
I think
right.
it goes back to slavery. I mean, they fighting over an extra piece of cornbread.
Yeah.
They got the trough there, or whatever the thing is, where they eating the cornmeal and
Yep.
all that out.
Yep.
And you got the rest of the slaves just running over there, and all that stuff is
Yeah.
gone. You
Yeah.
start wiping it off their mouth, or off the next person's mouth, and start eating it. It's
mindset.
the mindset what's been still on that plantation.
Yeah.
I think it got more pronounced though over the last 30 to 50 years
What you mean by pronounce?
in terms of really getting.
It's bad out here with it, Dan.
I know, but it's accelerated. I mean, I think if you look in the black community and the family structure and all of that, and how things went, and how in the business dealings and stuff, people were a lot more honorable, and in terms of their dealings.
Back then, there was.
I'm talking about
There was a lot more honorable
And then
back then.
after the 60s, things started changing in the black community in terms of the disintegration of the family and people getting off kilter and losing focus, and the community started to disintegrate.
Yeah.
And it started to accelerate. And you look at the communities now. Total disintegration in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
And the only refuge in a lot of cases is the black church. If you look at it. There's a lot of, I mean, typically where most of the crime in the cities are in the black communities.
Yeah. Man, it's a terrible thing, man. One of my good friends, I had the opportunity to go in and see in it. I went to Atlanta, and they got the Black Wall Street going on now. Jamal Bryant, he's got the Black Wall Street going. Man, it's like another world.
He just got married to Shawnee O'Neal from
No, that's Keon.
Okay, that's Keon.
That's Keon. That's another one of my boys
Okay.
too. But Jamal, he
Oh, Jamal Bryant.
Yes.
From
Deep Barrett, Baltimore.
Yeah,
He was from
yeah,
Baltimore.
Yeah, from Baltimore.
Yes, sir.
Dealing with the other young lady on
Yes,
that
sir.
showdown.
Yep.
Got you. Yeah.
Giselle.
I got Giselle. Yep.
And recreating this Black Wall Street has kind of done something to that area. I'm not saying to the rest of the world, just to that area. You walk in, you see all these black businesses in there getting it, focused. And he's been doing something too. That financial literacy. He's been on it. He's been on it, making sure. He brings that to his church as well, to his community, and to the black
You need to
people.
plug that brother with
I
me.
got you.
Yeah.
I got you. And yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's a done deal.
Because I'm back and forth from Atlanta
I got it.
a lot too.
I got
Because we
it.
got a podcast studio down there too.
Perfect. He'll love it.
Yeah.
And he's very, 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 very instrumental in making sure the black people, they get this information too. I'll make that happen.
Yeah, make that happen, Mitch.
Absolutely.
I'm surprised you ain't already made it happen. You know what I mean?
My bad on that. My bad.
But is it anything you want to add with this, Dan, in regards to this academy? And like I asked you before, I mean, with this academy down here in Raleigh that Mitch and I is looking to go ahead and start moving forward with as far as this financial literacy is concerned?
Because we're going to need you in there too, Dan.
Well, I'm more than, in any capacity that you need me, I'll be more than happy to get involved. I mean, I think it's paramount that the black and brown community become financially literate.
Yeah.
Rather, because I think there's been a lot of ignorance, the lack of knowledge.
Sure.
And I think that's led to a major downfall in our community.
Yeah.
And we're falling farther and farther behind other minority groups.
Man.
You look at the Hispanic community, and here in Charlotte, you go down South Boulevard to Central Avenue, and most of the new businesses are Hispanic.
Oh, and they running it too.
Yeah.
They running it, Dan.
And they're the fastest growing subset of the American population, the Hispanic community. Black community now is in third place in terms of the population.
I think they're lower than that.
Wow.
Well, we're in third.
I mean, well, they might be fourth or fifth.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but they're,
telling you.
they're very entrepreneurial.
The Hispanics got it going on.
They do.
And when they come over here, they just want opportunities because they've left terrible countries.
Yeah.
They've left most of the time fascist. Well, I wouldn't say, what you call communist and socialistic countries,
Sure.
but they're more like dictatorships, and they don't have the opportunities. So they come over here, they risk their lives or whatever, and they get over here and they see the opportunities, and they pool their resources, which is another thing the black community doesn't do. I mean, we're getting a little bit better at it, But they do that, and before you know it, they own half the city block, or they'll own a line of businesses.
Yeah.
And we can do the same thing.
Yeah.
We supposedly have an advantage since we've been here all these years.
What industry?
All these...
What industry do you think? Let me ask this question: what industry would you say that Hispanics have been known for? Like, what industry do they take like ownership of?
No, they a lot of restaurants, obviously. They're
Right.
really in that type of. They
Construction,
a lot of contractors and subcontractors. They really get into that. The men.
What about us?
We tend to.
we don't want to work.
Yeah.
We don't want to work.
I believe it.
That's another thing. See,
We want something given to us.
a lot.
40 acres.
Oh, we're scamming, hook and crook and, scheme and steal,
They'll take jobs.
That's the industry That's
Yeah.
the industry.
Yeah.
Scamming.
Scamming, yeah.
They'll take jobs that we will refuse to get. Man, they'll take that. They'll start at the lowest position, and then they work their ways up. What they'll end up doing is they'll learn your business, and then they'll go out and start their own and compete against you. That's what a lot of them. I've got a couple of clients that's what they'll do.
So we don't have nothing.
We don't have nothing. But that's another conversation on the next podcast of the school. But we got to wrap this up. Pleasure having you here, Mitch Summerfield,
being here, man.
with Word of God Fellowship in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Yes, sir.
How can people reach you?
Man, they can reach me. They can go straight to Instagram, Mitch Summerfield, at Mitch Summerfield, right on Instagram. Or they can go straight to Word of God Fellowship Church on Facebook. Either one of those two, man. They'll get me.
I'm looking forward to getting this academy going, this financial literacy academy popping off with
it's
you.
happening.
I'm in Charlotte, you in Raleigh, so we're 3 hours apart.
It's a done deal.
Pleasure having you on the
Same here,
score,
man.
Mitch.
Thank you for being here,
Malik
man.
D, your
Appreciate it.
financial credit guru, the hit maker of the score.